My family orders a lot of stuff online. So much so that they sometimes lose track of what they've ordered. This was partly fueled by the lockdown in 2020, when my family started ordering more of their shopping online to avoid contact with others. However, we live rurally, so the parcels aren't delivered directly to us. Instead, we receive a red slip in the mailbox, notifying us that someone has a package to pick up. The slip gives a date, time, and name of the receiver for the pickup. The post office is in Queanbeyan, approximately 10 minutes away by car. That's about a 20-minute trip just to collect a parcel. For the last few years that we've lived here, the system worked. A red slip would arrive in the mail, and whoever's name was on it would go and collect their parcel. That was until one summer's day in 2021. My dad arrived home, annoyed. He'd just driven 20 minutes to Queanbeyan and back to receive a parcel. However, when he'd arrived at the post office, they didn't have a parcel for him. Instead, there was one for me. Disgruntled, Dad explained to me that the slip said the parcel was for N. Williams, short for Nat Williams. This seemed odd to me, but I brushed it off, assuring him that it was probably just a one-time mistake. A few days went by, and I was expecting a parcel in the mail. I went to check the mailbox and found a slip for a parcel. However, the slip isn't for me. Instead, it's for my dad. I go inside to ask my dad if he was expecting a parcel. He tells me he isn't sure. I leave the slip with him, expecting that my parcel is coming another day. But that afternoon, Dad arrived home again with a parcel for me. Finally, I began to understand what was going on. Recently, I'd noticed that the handwriting on our parcel slips had changed, signifying to me that we had a new mailman. And at around the same time, Dad began receiving slips for my parcels. Another thing to note is that the mailman only writes the initial of the recipient's first name on the slip. My dad and I share the same initial for our first names. However, my last name is Beresford Williams, while his is just Williams. I believe the mailman is mistakenly writing N. Williams on my parcel slips, because he thinks that Beresford is my middle name. For a while, my dad and I just went along with it. Whenever we'd receive a slip for N. Williams, we'd just guess who it was for and they would go pick it up. That was until one day when we received 2 slips for N. Williams, and I was sure at least one was for me. I drove down to the post office, expecting to receive a parcel I'd been patiently waiting for. But instead, I was met with 2 large boxes ordered by my dad, and not a parcel for me. Now normally, I would shrug this off, but these were 2 boxes of discounted wine, weighing about 17 kilos each. Let me tell you, getting 34 kilos of wine to a car park that's 200 meters away, and then unloading it into the house, isn't fun. I'd had enough. I was determined to speak to the mailman and get him to write the correct name on our parcel slips. The problem is, the mailman comes at different times early in the morning, usually before any of my family is awake, and he doesn't stick around long as he has to service the entire area, so I devised a plan. The plan was simple. First, I would order a parcel online. And then, on the day it was expected to arrive, I would wait for the mailman next to our mailbox. When he arrives, I'll introduce myself, explain the situation to him, and hope he starts writing my name on my parcel slips instead of my dad's. 2 days later, I woke up early and checked my phone to see that my parcel was due to be delivered. So I got myself ready and headed out to the front of my house. Once I was set up, all I had to do was wait. heard someone coming, so I quickly packed up my chair and waited to see who it was. To my surprise, a black car pulled up. It turns out, the postman doesn't actually ride a bike, instead he comes in a car. As he began to drive away, I quickly stopped him off camera. I didn't get this bit on video, so I'll do my best to explain what happened. I started off by introducing myself to our mailman. His name is Hamad and he seemed like a really nice guy. I explained the situation to him and he was totally understanding. He explained to me that he writes the slips before he goes on his trips, so in the future, he'd make sure that he'd write my name on my slips instead of my dad's. Since that morning, I haven't actually received any parcels because I haven't ordered anything online. But the other day, my dad actually did receive a slip in the mail, and the postman wrote out his full name. So I think it's safe to say that our problem has been fixed. So I guess the moral of the story is, don't be afraid to reach out to your postman, because it may help you have a few less arguments with your dad. Thanks for watching.